Turn of the review. I know it's been a little while since I've been behind the camera like this, but I just wanted to see how it turned out with this new webcam I've got. So here is Dark of the Moon Bumblebee. A figure I really didn't think I'd end up getting, because up until I actually saw Dark of the Moon, I just wasn't a Bumblebee person. And I've got to say, he is nice, a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Of course, you got the mech tech weapon here, which I still find cool. To be honest, mech tech doesn't offend me. It's just a fun little gimmick. Big gun, bigger gun. Yeah, it's not bad. But of course, yeah, that's the fault. As soon as you pull this off, the whole roof wants to come off. But of course, it is horrible, just default grey plastic. So it's nothing special, but it's still entertaining. So yeah, good plan. So Bumblebee's vehicle mode itself is, I really like it for some reason. I love the shape of it. It's sort of slightly chunky but still sleek. I like the spoiler on the back here. I like the new stripes where they go all the way, and then you've got them here with these sort of intakes in there. I like the big sort of front bumper. It all looks good. It's a good looking car. You've got some details there as well, and also what symbol. If I can catch it in the light, it says Camaro SS on there, which I don't think the actual car in the film had on it. But it's a nice little detail that makes it a bit more authentic, I suppose. I suppose I should bring in the Battle Blades Bumblebee for comparison. So you can see, I suppose, the new Bumblebee is, well, I don't know, it's same sort of width, but he is a bit smaller, as are all the figures. The wheels on this new Bumblebee are even smaller as well, so, you know, different proportion sort of vehicles. They're still both nice, but this sort of just highlights how different the Dark of the Moon vehicle mode is from like the Revenge of the Fallen one. You know, the spoiler on the back, all this, the front stuff is so different, and the stripes as well. That's one thing. The new one actually has more paint apps in vehicle mode than the old one, which is strange because of course Dark of the Moon figures really don't have many paint apps on them at all. But there we go, that's a little comparison. One thing I have found with this vehicle though is you can sort of cobble together a stealth mode, maybe. If you lift this back piece up, there are actually some guns sculpted in here in the same sort of translucent stuff the window's made out of. So that's almost like a stealth mode. But then, if you go even one step further, this piece here has these two holes in, and I really have no idea what they're meant to be for, but they do seem to fit mech tech weapons rather nice and snugly, so you can sort of have that going on. It looks completely mental, and I'd like to know what the official use for these holes is, because that's all I can make it do. It's crazy. So, vehicle mode I'm impressed with, to be honest. Nice shiny painted wheels. It's got it all. So let's transform it. Got to put up the entire top of the vehicle like that, basically. Condense it all up, I suppose. It doesn't flatten out as much as it does on the Battle Blade version. This panel will just flap around. It doesn't stay flush to anything. That is a big gripe to me. But anywho, pull out the doors, and then you flip up some windows, which weren't there in vehicle mode. I'm sorry. what? But the thing is, you can't have it in vehicle mode with these windows there. They're just for robot mode. Which begs the question, if there isn't any glass in the windows in vehicle mode, why is there glass on the windows for robot mode? I don't know, let's carry on. So you're gonna flip out these chest panels, and the front bottom bumper rotates up to make his new sort of chest piece, I suppose. Flip out the wheels like that, and you can just get his arms out. And flip the whole chest down. It will tab in with some effort. There we go. So just sort of straighten his arms out. Bring his hands out like that. There we go. And then you're just left with the feet, which are pretty simple. Pull out these panels which just sort of automatically align themselves with these angled hinges. That's another difference with this. There's only one little notch there where there used to be three. Just little things. And then pull out the foot and it sort of does all that leg or some more that it does on all the figures. But there's not so many gears in here, so then that sort of flops about. Then you'd have to have it flop about because his feet only move backwards, not forwards. He's got no toes or anything like that anymore. So there you go. And then the back stuff, in the instructions it says to just leave it there like that, hanging off his arse, which looks really bad and leaves this just gaping hole on his back. So I angle it up and have it sort of like that. It gives him more of a backpack, but it does look better, really. Yeah, there's a big gaping hole, but you know. Hello. There you go. There is Bumblebee in robot mode. Seriously lacking paint apps is the first thing that comes to my mind. His lower legs are entirely yellow. This needs to be some silver, needs to be some silver in here. Ooh, jet planes. The feet are completely yellow, there needs to be some black and silver on there. The body as well needs to be some yellow all on some of these bits. But the arms are perfect, to be honest. They've finally got correct articulation. Actually bend like that instead of the funny curling arms. You've got the hands, the thumbs move, but they're really, really stiff. I have read things that say, oh, you can open up the thumbs just enough to make him hold the gun. Now look, they either go too far or not enough, so you can sort of wedge it in there, but you won't hold it properly, it will just sort of flop. That's why it's good there are Mectec ports on here. Yippee! Because that doesn't look slightly strange at all. I still do like this robot mode for Bumblebee. He's finally got the arm articulation he deserves, and I like all this sort of shoulder beef he's got now. He looks a bit more tough. Although he shouldn't, he should look stubby and chubby and childish, but you know. The face is nice. He got like the only major bit of silver paint on his face. He looks more friendly than the Battle Blade version. But at the same time it also looks like he's sort of frowning at you because of the way his helmet goes. He's got some nice sort of silver bits on there which haven't been put on before. Overall, it's not bad, but it could have been a damn sight better. I suppose I'll compare him with the previous release. So here is Battle Blade Bumblebee, and of course the first thing you notice is, well, he's bigger. But to be honest, I think he's too big. This is a good size for Bumblebee. Now initially I believed, as did many people, that this figure was just a heavy retool of this one. That is not the case at all. This is 100% brand new mould. The transformation scheme is based on this one, but it's completely different. If anything, I think the only parts that might have gotten reused are the upper arms. They seem the same apart from one tiny detail on the back. There's like There's like a little notch here that isn't on this one. And the hands look the same to me. So that's it. To be honest, Battle Blade Bumblebee is the better figure. He's got all the paint apps, nice shiny plastic, loads more articulation in the legs, but of course not in the arms. And, well, it's a shame, really. This is the definitive Bumblebee right here. He's got the battle mask, the gun, the axe. But this figure feels more like Bumblebee. Because, I know he's smaller. Feels a bit more sort of dense. This figure's a bit lanky, really. But, you know, it's got the double knees and the toes and all that. You can't make him stand like that at all. The closest you can get is like, what? There. No. Seriously lacking articulation in the legs when you compare it to Battle Blade Bumblebee, but it's still a good figure. Dark of the Moon has obviously just gone down in standards, to be honest, from the previous lines. It's a shame to say that, but it's true. This Bumblebee does not feel as good in your hand as this one does. Simply because of the backpack. Look at that. On Battle Blade Bumblebee, it flattens up right to his back. You wouldn't know he had it. But on the new one, it really doesn't. There's no way you can get that to straighten up properly. That's my main gripe about the new Bumblebee, is that he just isn't as good as the old one. But then he wasn't going to be as good as the old one because the old one can do this. Yes. That's better than MechTech any day, to be honest. If anything, a plus for the Dark of the Moon figures is that they are far more sort of capable of weapon interaction. So you've got the MechTech gun here. You can go stick another one on the other arm. There are only 2 MechTech ports in robot mode. Unless you want to go ahead and flip out this bit, then I suppose you could sort of cut him up on his shoulders. Oh god, I'm doing a pew here. Right, so you can go ahead and kit him out like that. If you want to. I mean, having a chainsaw up on his shoulder can't be a bad thing. Even though it won't work, because stuff gets in the way. But even more than that, you have got these clip-on points here. So I've got scourges, gun. Go ahead, put that on there, you know. One thing I have noticed about Bumblebee's MechTech gun is that this sight here, I'm not sure if it's intended to be, it sort of looks like it's made to show you, look, this is clip compatible, but it is. You can go and fit Scourge's gun on there, it will still work. And a bit of extra firepower is never bad. He's not even fully kitted out like that. That's an upside. You've got a hell of a lot more playability with the figure when you can stick like 4 guns on it at once. That's nice. He's certainly not a bad figure. He's certainly not a bad Bumblebee. I'm pretty sure there are worse ones out there, like the Canon one. But, you know, if like me, you suddenly decide that you like Bumblebee and you want to get a new figure to properly pay your respects to probably what will be the last time we see him on the big screen, then get this one, definitely. And definitely one it's still reduced in Tesco's as well, because seriously, these new deluxes are not worth £12.99.